Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I'm so excited about this live tonight. I wanted to do a quick live because we are approaching the end of this year. And I thought, what a timely message for me to talk about how to change your life and business now. And that's what I'm going to share. Mia Redrick. I'm the mom strategist, business and a life coach. I got started my company a long time ago, 17 years ago, simply making the decision to go to work as myself. I decided I wanted to take my knowledge as a corporate trainer and my skills as a mom, specifically around how to make time for my own life. And I wanted to package that into my very own business in my own systems. And I didn't know how to do that. So my very first stop, I went to a small business resource center. And I was told by the director of that small business resource center that my idea of mom coaching did not make any sense and that no one would ever pay me to do what I do today. Now, fast forward, I've had the opportunity to coach thousands of women literally all around the world as the mom strategist. And I support today women who are the smart, they're sharp, they're action takers, they're go-getters. They want to figure out how to take what they're doing in their profession or in their life, their soft skills or their hard skills, and package that into a sellable service or product, both on and offline. I love what I get to do. I love who I get to work with. My clients call themselves giants, and I only work with women who are giant, who have giant in their mentality, because to change your life, you have to be giant about that. We're going to talk a lot about that today. So I know that this is really going to support you, how to change your life and business right now. Okay, not tomorrow, right now. So you probably want to grab something to write with because this is going to be a good one. All from my heart. I was thinking about this just a little bit ago, and I thought, I'm going to share with you what I've done that I know has helped me. I'm going to share with you what I would share with anyone that said to me right now, Mia, what do I need to do to set 2021 up to get on the right track, right? What do I do if I want to make next year greater than this year? It doesn't mean that you've had a bad year, because for many of you, you've had a great year, but you've learned some things about this year. And maybe you want to start it differently, right? Based on what you know. Or maybe this year has totally sucked for you, in which case you want to change everything. This is going to be a really great live for you. It's going to give you some food for thought of some highly actionable things that you can do right away to be able to change your life. All right. So, here's my story. When I got started in my company, I decided to go to work as myself. And in doing that and coaching women, I had the opportunity to do Emmy nominated, nationally syndicated television shows as the mom strategist. I've had the opportunity equally to work with corporate brands like Panera Bread, Great Harvest Bread Company, just to name a few. And I've had the opportunity to literally support other women in understanding that your thoughts have value. And because of the business that I've built, I've been able to take a stand for my family in ways unimaginable. And I think many of you know my story. My husband developed kidney disease over 10 years ago. And one of the greatest gifts to me was that because I had built a business, I could be there for him in ways unimaginable. And I could be there for my kids in ways unimaginable, because growing a business, growing a solid company really allows you to show for your family and create financial security. And that's what it's all about, right? And equally being able to give my kids a world-class education. And I know a lot of the women that follow me, one of the things that you're very interested in is giving your kids the best of what you have. And I've invested over $1 million in elementary, middle, and high school. And I share this with you, not to be boastful about that, but to say that this is possible. Like, you can build a business that will allow you to give your kids, whatever it is that you want, whatever it is, whatever kind of life or lifestyle you want. And I would say for myself, one of the reasons that I started my company, and a lot of the women that I work with want the exact same thing and have created the same thing for themselves. I wanted freedom. I had to figure out how to get myself free. And I've been able to do that. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for over a decade, and I love it. I work from the comfort of my home, really 6 hours a week. I service my clients and I do what I love to do. And I love showing women how to build businesses that are time rich. So let's just jump in if you're ready. Okay. I believe you have to be ready for a powerful message. If you're ready, I want you to simply write, I'm ready. Okay. Now, if you're on Facebook, you have to write your name next to your comment because I won't see your name. So I'm ready. If you're ready, type it now and we'll jump in. And I can promise you that when you watch this, whether you watch this as a replay or you're watching this live with me right now, this is going to be one of those trainings that's really going to change things for you. If you implement, if you follow the steps that I'm sharing with you today, this is really going to make a tremendous difference for you. This is exactly what I have done myself. So let's jump in, okay? How to change your life and business now. So number one, the first thing you got to do, and this is something that I always do, is you got to take responsibility for what has worked and what has not worked, okay? So if you want to change your life, the only way to change your life is that you have to first, you got to take responsibility. You got to look at what's going on in your world right now that you love, right? Look at your job, look at your marriage, look at your parenting, look at your relationships, your friendships, look at your health, look at every aspect of your life. And then say, okay, I'm going to take responsibility for what has worked. These are the things that I've done really well that's working. And then look at the things that are not working and take responsibility for those. These are the things that I don't do so well. And you'll be able to tell based on the fruit that you've created or the fruit that does not exist. It's non-existent, or you're not where you want to be as it relates to that area of your life. It's really just that simple. And I'm often surprised by the number of people who don't take the time or make the time to do this very step, taking responsibility, looking at, hey, Evelyn, where they are in their life, in their world, and doing an assessment of sorts to say, these are the things that are working for me. These are the things that are not working. These are the things I've been trying to do myself, and it's not happened. These are the things that I can do myself that's creating yield. That's the first step, okay? And you know, think of it almost like looking at a year at a glance, right? You might want to pull out your calendar month by month, look at things that you've committed to, and then say, you know what? I said I was going to start this diet back in March, and I never lost any weight. I didn't do what I said I'm going to do. And then you start to write down in different areas, these are the things that I do really well, take responsibility, and these are the things that I did not do really well. And you'll see how this comes together. This is something I do every single year. I look at what's working in my life, what's worked really well, and then I look at what has not worked at all. And I understand for myself what I'm not good at in terms of being able to do myself. So it helps me to understand the kind of team I need to put together for myself to change my life. Does this make sense? If this makes sense, right, this is making sense. Number two, the second thing that you need to do if you want to change your life and your business right now is this. You need to get real about the resolutions to move you forward. So I'll repeat that. You need to get real about the resolutions to move you forward. Now, often when people think of resolutions, they think New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, the first week of the new year. They begin to make these commitments to themselves, right? They begin to say, these are the things that I'm going to do this year that's going to change my life and my world. And I want you to think for a second about the times that you've actually done this, right? Made these resolutions and said, have I kept my personal commitment to myself? Or did I not keep my personal commitment to myself? Hey there, Sheree. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Evelyn, I'm glad you're here as well. Okay. So you need to get real about the resolutions that are going to move you forward. And you've got to do something to change 3 areas of your life. Okay. Lean into this. And this is what I found has worked tremendously for me. When I'm making change, when I'm setting resolutions, I don't set them in the conventional ways that most people do. I don't write a list of goals in essence and say, this year is going to be different and this is what I'm going to do. I literally divide my life in 3 areas: my mindset, my life, and my business. So let's talk about each of those areas. One of the things that I've learned a long time ago is that if I want to change any part of my life or my business, I have to first change my thought life. And I think one of the things that people never think about, they never think about this, and maybe you've never thought about this, is that you have to be a partner in how you think, right? A partner with how you think. Like, it doesn't matter that you set a goal to do anything, to, launch a business and hit six figures, or to lose, 20 pounds, that extra 20 pounds. If you are not in partnership with your thoughts, your mind is not in alignment with where you want to be because of your habits and your practices, because of your associations, the books you read, the things you see on TV, the people you hang out with, then likely you will not hit the goals that you have. Conversely, if you understand that your mindset, okay, it's really one of the most powerful, it's really one of the most powerful things that you can do in terms of conditioning yourself to be in achievement mode all the time. So what do? I read all the time. My clients will tell you, I've got a book for everything, but I read a lot. I have coaches at a very high level that so into my mindset. I associate with people, my own ambition level and above. I don't leave my thoughts to chance, okay? If you want to be the highest version of yourself, you have to spend some time thinking and sharpening the highest version of your thoughts. Maybe you've never done this. Maybe you first started writing down these resolutions or these goals, and you're trying to figure out in your life and in your business why you haven't hit them. The reason you haven't hit them is because you haven't worked on the most important part. That is your mind. Is this making sense? Are you getting value? If you're getting value, right, I'm getting value. And then in your life, start thinking about, once you work on your mind, start thinking about in your life, how do you want to live? It's such a powerful question. And it's not a question that most people ask themselves. And I'll tell you how I relate to this. When I started my company years ago, one of the things that I knew I did not want to do was create a job for myself in my business. Hey, Madeira. Hi, Erica. I'm so glad to see you. I didn't want to create a job for myself. So I didn't want to go from working in corporate America, create a company that looked just like my job. So the first question that I asked myself was, how could I design a life for myself that I wanted to come home to? In opposed to me thinking that living a great life would be going on vacation, getting 2 weeks or 3 weeks if I was lucky, right? And then I could escape my life. I thought, what if I built my business to accommodate my life, and I built my business around my life? Now, this is a radical thought. And I know that you likely haven't heard anyone talk about it, but it's what I did. It's literally what I've done. I built my business so that I could be 100% available to my kids, like really, so that I could date my husband in the middle of the day, like really, so that I could be available to myself to date myself. I had and have a rule. I date myself every single week. I date my husband every other week, and I date my kids once a month individually. Now, of course, it's COVID. We're doing things a little bit differently, but I've lived my whole life this way. Well, I built my business so that I could enjoy the juice out of life, so that I could get, the highest level of value out of my life. That is the first thing that you've got to ask yourself. If you've ever thought about why are you not hitting your goals, why the life goals that you're setting, you're not hitting them, maybe because if you really got the thing that you've been focusing on, it's going to give you less of what you desire. Instead, what if you focused on like how you really and truly want to live, like literally, right? So that's a really great tip. I hope this helps you. And then on the business side, the same is true. I had to ask myself when I thought about my business, I had to think about, who do I want to work with? What do I want to do every single day? Like literally, I thought about who do I want to work with? Who are my ideal clients? And I realized that for me, I'm a very positive person. I love being around women that own it, right? Like they're sharp, they're smart, they believe in self-investment, they believe in God, they're action takers, they're go-getters, they're go-givers. They're the kind of people that make room for other people to do well. They clap loud for others. I realized that for me, that in my business, those were the kind of people I wanted to serve. People who took responsibility, people who did the work, people who had the esteem to see themselves being able to sell something for $10,000 or more, or $100,000 or more per client, or who could see themselves hitting six figures plus or $1 million plus in their business. And I decided that those would be the only individuals that I would work with, and that I would build a community of women who call themselves giants. And I love it. So you need to ask yourself, when you're thinking about putting together your business, who do you want to work with? Who do you want to work with? Now, here's the caveat. This all goes back to your mind too, because any single individual that you want to work with, in order for you to attract them, your clients will see themselves in you. So the more you work on your thought life, the more you work on your belief systems, the more you stand tall, the more you lead from the front, the more you'll be able to attract exactly what you want. I'm breaking this all the way down. Are you getting value? Sheree says, I'm getting value as always. I love that. That's a great shot of you also. And Erica writes, very valuable. Awesome. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your comments. Okay, and let's see if there are any others here that I want to highlight. Hi, Evelyn. Good to see you as well. All right. Okay. And Camille's here. And she says, wow, yes, I'm attracting what I want. Absolutely. Totally. Okay. Awesome. Number 3. So today I'm talking about how to change your life and business now. And I told you, this is going to be a really great live. And for many of you, you'll want to go back. You'll want to go back. You'll want to go back and listen to this again, because it'll make even more sense when you hear it the second time. All right. How to change your life and business now. Number 3, you got to evaluate the investments you have made to grow your life, your business, or your mindset. You've got to evaluate, okay, the investments that you've made to grow your life, your business, or your mindset, okay? And so I just want to talk about this for a second, because we're talking about how to change your life and business now. And I can't talk about changing your life or your business without talking about investment, and specifically personal investment. Now, when I think about investment, I think about investment in many ways. Time, right? So to change our lives, right? To grow a business, right? To lose weight. I'm just using a couple examples, right? Or to create different intimate relationships with your friends. It takes time, right? Like you've got to sow a seed and commit to time. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because so many people want to change their life and their business. But the one thing that they don't get is that they're very conditional about how they spend their time. Okay. But I've learned over the years that in order for me to create the results that I have, I didn't just wake up one day and have an amazing business, an amazing time-rich business, or amazing clients. I put the time in, I put the work in, I put the effort in, all right? I made the investment of money, okay? Yeah, I did. I'm my number one asset. I've invested in more personal trainers than enough, okay? Why? Because I'm worth it, okay? I've invested in, even just I think about during the pandemic, I bought so many, because I couldn't go to the gym and see my trainers. I invested in like a really great home gym in different ways. But bought the tonal, I bought a rower, I bought the Peloton bike, I bought a fit bench, I bought all of these things. Why am I telling you that? I'm telling you because I made that investment, right? So that we could commit and be fit at home. My question is, you want to grow a certain area of your life. What investments do you sow so that you can seek a return? I'm asking you. I mean, think about your business, for example. I think about in my business. In my business, I have coaches, right? I have consultants that I work with, and I invest in them. I make an investment. I pay them in exchange for their advice, their best advice to help me grow my business. Are you doing the same? All right. We're talking about how to change your life and business now. And there are many people who never get to move the needle in their life, not because they're not smart or sharp or all of these things. It is literally that you are a non-investor. It is that you're a non-investor, or that you invest in things that you can walk away from. I've learned years ago that, if I make an investment in something, that I can't walk away from, I'm more likely to use it. I'll give you an example. I'll go back to my home gym again. When I think about my home gym, I could have bought like a bunch of videos, and I did do this too. I bought, like the Beachbody online membership, which was like maybe $90, and I bought what Beachbody? I bought NeoFit, which is a lot of different classes and videos for the TV in there. Okay, and I could walk away from the investment. But if you invest 10 grand or more on fitness equipment, you better bet you're going to use it. Your probability of using it is that much higher because you've got more skin in the game. Is this making sense? All right. So when you're making an investment to grow your business and you are investing $150 or $47 or, you know what I mean, or under $1,000 and you're expecting the entire world, you got to ask yourself, are you serious about changing your life and business now? Likely you need to make an investment in what I call a full solution. And when I make an investment, I only invest in things that are the full solution for me, meaning that, I wanted a system in my house that could do personal training, weight training, that also had the cardio that I wanted, right? That had the trainers that could bring the trainers in, that could do the scan and the assessments, the analytics that I was already accustomed to. I wanted a full solution. Okay. Now I could have got some resistance bands and used television and maybe it would work for me, but what I have right now works more because it is meant to be a higher level solution. Is this making sense? I want to pause for a second. I want to make sure you guys are getting this, right? Because this is so important. And this upcoming year, we're talking about how to change your life and your business right now. Gregory writes, keep on teaching, great info. That's what's up. I'm glad that you're getting value. Linda writes, getting value. And Madera says, yes, you are breaking this all the way down, and I am getting value. And thank you, Linda and Gregory. I appreciate you guys and your comments here. All right. So we're talking about how to change your life and business now. And I wanted to do this specifically, Tracy, because so many people don't get this part. And this coming year, I want you to get it. I want you to understand that you make an investment that you can't walk away from. When I think about my business investments, I've worked with the same coach for a long time, over 17 years, okay? Over 17 years. And she introduced me to her coach and recently, and then I made an investment with him the second time, okay? Now I'm teaching here, and I want you guys to lean into this. When I think about the number of people who make investments and they're like, oh, that didn't work. And then they go over and they make an investment somewhere else. And they're like, oh, that didn't work. And then they go and they make an investment somewhere else. And I don't know if that's you, but I want to tell you, I've never invested that way. I invest and I expect a return on investment. And I wholeheartedly lean into doing the work. For me, unlike so many people that claim they're overnight success, I wasn't an overnight success. Do I believe that's possible? I do. I wasn't an overnight success. I was more like an 18-month success. You know what I mean? So if I was changing what I was doing, who I was learning from every year, I would not have realized the success that I realized. And just maybe if you want to change your life and business now, you need to do something different about the way you're investing. You invest time, right? You're investing your money, okay, for sure. And make sure you're investing in people who have the full solution for you, that have evidence of the result that you desire. To me, evidence of the result I desire means that the person I'm investing with, they have something I want. They already have it and they have proof of it. Maybe they have the lifestyle that I want. Maybe they have the relationships that I want to have with my family. Maybe they have something else. Okay. But I never fell for myself, just material things, because what I wanted when I grew my company was time freedom. And I wanted to see how I could grow my business, be available to my family. And I wanted people to teach me who also had great relationships with their families. Make sense? And you also need to invest energy. So time, money, and energy. And so this notion that you make an investment, some of you out there are saying, Mia, I've already made investments and they haven't worked. And then if we were really honest, let me lean in. If we're really honest, you know you didn't invest time, the time necessary to create the result. I was just talking to someone recently and who I've worked with and worked with the person for a long time, and they had a strategy that was a low ticket strategy. And I was like, well, where did that come from? Okay, like, well, where did I only teach my clients for their primary offer to sell high ticket. So why would anyone that I'm working with be selling something for low ticket as their lead offer, right? It's because sometimes fear gets in the way and we don't want to do the things that we know we can do because it scares us. So we go back and we let fear talk us into, instead of saying $5,000, you say $50. You know what I'm talking about. It takes commitment to see things through. Over the years, if I think about, have I been scared growing my business at times? Yes. Okay. Have I had to work on my own mindset, my own belief system to step into it, to stay committed? Absolutely. Has it been worth it? And the biggest thing that I think about often is, I was just trying to be that shortcut. I was trying to create a shortcut for myself. And I said, look, right now I'm on a 40-year plan to work. I'm going to have to work for 40 years before I get to retire. The trajectory that I was on before I started a business. I said, if I'm able to stop that trajectory and I'm able to work in my business for 10 years and figure it out, I've shaved 30 years off of this experience. And I think sometimes people want things so fast that they become short-sighted and it really hurts them. I hope it helps you. Hope this thought process helps you. And Tracy says, yes, this is making sense. And Camille says, I'm definitely going to go back and listen to this. I love your picture. And Evelyn says it's getting so much value. Okay. Number 4. Okay. And I guess I would say this also about number 3 is that investments, you got to know an investment is, you got to be able to take a calculated risk. You know what I mean? So when I make an investment, an investment isn't a guarantee. An investment is an investment. But I make investments and they're calculated risk because the person that I'm investing with already has evidence of the result. So they already have evidence of a process. Now, sure, I've got to change along the way my own belief systems and what I do so that I can realize those results. But, I love taking calculated risks. They have changed my life. All right, number 4, how to change your life and business now. You need to proactively commit to change without conditions. Now I'm going to go all in on this, okay? And this really relates to what I just talked about. You've got to proactively commit to the change without conditions. So if you want to change your life and your business right now, this idea of you expecting someone to have a sale, a promotion, and that sale or promotion is going to be your right time. No. I can't say that I've ever bought something that's really truly changed my life because it's just been on sale. When I want something, I proactively seek it because it is the solution that I need in this moment. And I find a way. And I'm sharing this with you guys because a lot of times we don't change our lives because we are looking at all of these shiny objects. And I know that last week you probably had a lot of opportunities, a lot of sales, a lot of things you could have bought. I didn't offer any holiday sales, no Christmas sales, because I just said, no, like, are you serious? I don't even want to work with people that you need an incentive to invest in yourself, to change your life, to start your business. This is your business. You have to proactively seek what you're looking for. You need to go find that solution, right? And you need to proactively invest in that solution. And I'll say this, that the women that I work with, they lean in to the solution that they desire. And that's why I work with action takers, because one of the things that I've learned over the years is that if you are not an action taker, your life will be the same. It won't change. Okay. So you got to proactively commit to the change without conditions. That condition is like, it could sound something like someone saying, well, if I make this investment, what happens if it doesn't work? You mean what part? Like, who makes an investment and your thought is, what happens if it doesn't work? This is not a question that I've ever asked anyone. It's not even a thought I've ever had. When I make an investment, I proactively look for what I need. I make the investment, and I only make the investment to receive a return on investment. And I'm going to work what I have to get a return on investment. The only thoughts I have. And it's so interesting because once we change that mindset, everything else changes in terms of how we embrace what we have, the resources we have, the tools we have, the mentors we have, the access to knowledge. It's interesting, or community, right? But imagine if you make investments, but you only make investments to say, well, if I go here, I'll see. You won't ever get to where you want to be. Because what if you said in 2 weeks, I'll see how it goes. And in 2 weeks, you're not where you want to be. And now you're like, want to back out of an investment that you've made. What if it took you a month? What if it took you a month, okay, to see whatever that result it is that you wanted to see? And you backed out 2 weeks. It takes commitment to change your life, right? You have to proactively commit to change without conditions. And that is a separator. I hope that it's a deep concept, but it sounds really simple. But I know for a fact, I've coached thousands of women, that it is the thing that really makes a difference. And Madera writes, sometimes we want something so fast that we become short-sighted. That is so true. We do. All right. And then any change that we want, we have to lean in to that change. You have to expect results. Okay. And you have to work what you're doing as if you believe that what you invested in will work. All right. That's all mindset. It goes back to number 2. Number 5, you got to be consistent and persistent and not conditional when results or change is required. Okay. So you got to be consistent and persistent, not conditional when results or change is required. So I'm going to break this down. All right. So we're talking about how to change your life and business right now. Okay. And what I've found over the years is that people who create significant change in their life and in their business, people who realize their goals, are people who are consistent. Like, they do the same things over and over and over again. They're people who are persistent. They're not on again and off again. It's sort of like if I wanted to have a 6-pack, but I decided that on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I would do 1,000 sit-ups, but that's it. I'm not going to have a 6-pack. Right? Because it requires more than that. And success requires a lot more than that also. So in order for you to change your life and business now, you got to be consistent and persistent. You've got to make that commitment, not be conditional when results or change is required. See, the thing is, sometimes we have to change in order for us to realize the growth we desire. You forget sometimes when you make investments that just because you make an investment doesn't mean that you have changed into the person that can realize the result yet. It's a growth process. And for most people, they got to change their mindset, their thought life. They got to change different things because you have the desire, but you still have to work through the parts of you that don't know or that need to grow, right? That don't know what to do and that need to grow in order for you to, get to maximize whatever the results are that you'd like to have in your life, right? So don't be conditional with results. Like, if you don't see results and then you're like, oh, I'm out. Okay. Or if you do see results, then you're in. And then some people only look at their business. Like, if they have a good week and they close a customer, they're like, it's a great business. And then a week later, if they don't close customers, they're like, it's a bad business. The conditional in the results. You must be persistent and consistent over time. And that's really what allows you to change your life and your business, right? And you got to understand that change is a process. You got to do the work, and it's over time. And so whenever I think about people who realize their goals, we never really put any conditions around doing the work. I'm not ever, I don't have a time clock that says I'm going to do this for, 3 months and then that's it. I'm in this thing. Like, I'm sold out to do it. Okay. And it's going to work. I might have to change my approach. I might change a method. I might try a different approach, but I am not quitting what I'm doing. I'm not hot and cold about my dream. And so Tracy writes, solution-driven concepts are what I'm seeking to aid me in building a successful business. Absolutely. And let's be clear that anyone, Tracy, can teach you the what. But the only people that can teach you the how, the step-by-step solutions, are people who have realized those things themselves. So when you make an investment, you want to make sure that the people you're investing with teach the step-by-step, the how. Okay, so that they can transfer their knowledge to you. I learned this from one of my mentors, that talent is not transferable. If I'm the best speaker ever, you know what I mean, the best dancer ever, okay, the fact of the matter, it's not transferable. But technique is transferable. And there are many things that are very transferable. I have done television at a very high level on Emmy nominated, nationally syndicated shows. I've done lots of television segments over the years, literally hundreds. And I teach my clients the exact step-by-step formula to pitch so they can do the same for those that have an interest in that. And as a result of that, they've been able to pitch and get themselves on television consistently also. Why? Because I'm not talking about the what. I can teach them the how. All right. Okay. And then Camille asks, and Camille, I'll take your question at the end. So should we not put a time limit on how long something should take that we invest in? You know, the truth of the matter is, I've been with the same coach for 17 years. And there are very few people that I know that have worked with their coaches that long. My coach has been with her coach 17 years too. And I think that's pretty interesting. It was just a coincidence, actually. But that really speaks volumes. She's incredibly successful. I'm incredibly successful. Why? Because we've had consistent mentorship over time. So I'm not looking to learn something from someone and then say, oh, got it. And then I'm going to go. Like, I see people sometimes, they'll learn something and they're like, I got it. They'll create a result, you know, whatever it is. And then they're like, I got it. And then move on. I guess for me, I said over the years, if I learned something and it worked for me, I thought, there must be more. There's clearly water here. So I want to go deeper. I want to go deeper in my mentorship, I want to go deeper in that relationship so that I can learn that next thing, because I already know that what I have learned has, one, created yield for me. I've got a return on investment. I can see the growth. I think the other thing to think about, Camille, is that when people are growing, a lot of times, particularly in like business coaching and consulting, a lot of times people only evaluate growth in terms of dollars. And that's one way certainly to be able to say, look, my business is growing because I'm making money. No doubt. Okay, definitely. However, sometimes we also grow and it's qualitative. Like, I have clients that their minds change. Okay, like they are able to step into a higher version of themselves. And because of that, on the other side, what they're able to ask for completely changes. So when they started working with me, that wasn't something that they thought they were going to step into. And any of my clients here can definitely attest to that. They may have thought that they were going to sell something for $100 an hour, $200 an hour. And as a direct result of working with me, they learn how they can take what they know and sell what they know at a very high level, 10 times what they're doing or more. Doesn't make sense. All right. But, there are lots of ways that you can create incredible results. Camille says, she writes, you're welcome. Yes, you are helping me. Thank you for expanding on that. Sure. Okay. Number six, how to change your life and business now, is you've got to celebrate small wins and you've got to celebrate the wins of others. So let me explain this because it sounds really simple, but celebrating yourself along the way, the things that you are doing, the ways that you are changing, the actions that you are taking, the habits, the new habits you've embraced. So many people don't see their progress. They don't look back and celebrate or express gratitude and thanksgiving around where I was versus where I am now, what I know now versus what I knew before. And because of this, inside of their heart, they always feel like they're behind or it's not enough, or they can't feel fulfilled in something that they thought would fulfill them. right? You have to have that as a practice daily or weekly, looking at what it is that you've accomplished and say, wait, man, listen, I was selling something for $50 an hour. Now I'm selling what I have for $250 an hour. That's called progress. Okay. I used to think that I couldn't work in the corporate market. And now I got my first corporate client. Wow. That is called progress. All right. And I will tell you that whatever it is you focus on grows. And I think that's why so many people don't get to change your life in business now, because they are only focused on what they don't have, and they don't focus on the growth that they have actually created, to express gratitude, to say, man, I did do this, right? To honor that. The other thing is understanding how to celebrate the wins of others. Now, I don't work with people who are not interested in celebrating the success of others. It's very important. I don't work with people who are scarcity minded. I don't work with people who want to dominate others. I don't work with people who believe that there's lack. There's only one opportunity, only one set of clients. People who don't clap loud for others, because at the end of that is a very, very small mindset. And I love building a culture and a community of women who are expansive around that, right? That if you can clap loud for others, that means that you can see in them what's possible for you. And isn't it powerful to be in community with people like that? I love it. Like, I love being around my clients. I love being around women like that. We have a community where that's exactly what happens. It's a very special place where my clients, my community members, that's how we celebrate each other. And it is the only language that I speak, and it is the only language I want to speak. And it's interesting. I wanted to do this today because I want to talk about how to change your life and business now, because I thought, like, over the years, I've always had relationships with other people who were winning, and I always clapped the loudest from my heart with the deepest sincerity. And I found over the years, those became the same people that I could vacation with. Those were the same people who I could call for advice. Those were the same people who I could invest with. There were the people who were sharing with me other ideas, that were other things that were possible. You've got to have a village that's elevated, and making sure that you're a person that can handle that kind of village is super important. And not enough of us have it. And we're talking about, how to change your life and business now. And the new year is coming, and maybe you've been just trying to do this all by yourself. And I wanted to give you some ideas of some things that in this upcoming year, if you had them, they would make all the difference. And number 7, surround yourself with giants. And what I mean by that, people who are taller than you, people who are swinging for the fence, people who are reaching bigger, who are doing more, who you're like, what? Who are doing things you never did before. I tell my clients all the time, you want to be around people who speak another language. Okay. They're saying things that are elevated in a way that you're like, I don't even know what that means, but it sounds really good. Okay. I want to be able to communicate with other people this way. And if you don't have that, then likely the investments that you've made in your community, okay, or, in your network, you need to invest in a higher level so that you can be around other people like that. My clients, they call themselves giants. And I mentioned earlier, I only want to hang out with giants, right? Because they really do treasure one another. It's really important to be around people who are doing the work. Imagine associating or having accountability partners who are your ambition level and above. They'll grow your comprehension 30% just by association. Erica writes, thank you, Erica. The giant community, we celebrate each other, and it's powerful and appreciated. It is. I like that photo of you, by the way. And it's true. It's a very, very special place. Hey, Angel, good to see you. It's a very special place to be around women that celebrate one another, who want to see you win. I always tell my clients, one of the things that's so important is being comfortable in your skin and winning, leading from the front, and understanding that when you do that, you give other women permission to lead themselves, right? And make a difference in an incredible world. It's important to be in community with people who don't feel that one person needs to be the great I am. We all are great, and we're better together when when we have a culture and a community that allows other people to understand that, it's pretty cool watching you rock it, right? Like, I just love it. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And I would like to hear your aha or takeaway. I'll recap, and you can start writing your comments here. Today, I talked about how to change your life and your business now. Okay. And I wanted to do this because the new year is coming. And I know that it's time. It's like decision time, time to do things differently. And I thought that this would totally help. Number one, okay, take responsibility for what has worked and what has not. Right? That was number one. It's your time. Take responsibility. Look at what's worked, what's not. Okay. Number two, get real about the resolution to move yourself forward. Right? And that's in 3 areas: in your mind, your life, and your business. Yeah. Okay. And number 3, evaluate the investments you have made to grow your life, your mind, and your business. Very important. Look at where are you investing. All right. I want to see your comments, your aha, your takeaway. Number 4, proactively commit to change without conditions. This is so important. If you are making investments in your time, your money, and your energy, you have got to make that commitment without saying, I'll see. Commit wholeheartedly. Number 5, be consistent and persistent, not conditional about the results. You're just waiting to see. And if you don't see it right now, in 15 minutes, you're out. Then you're already out. Okay. You got to commit. Okay. And you got to do the work. You got to be committed to that. Number 6, celebrate small wins and celebrate the wins of others. Have the heart for that. If you can't see that when someone else is winning and you clap the loudest in the truest sense, like, not understand that you're being able to cheer for them opens up a door with the possibilities for you. Okay. Got to do mindset work. And number 7, surrounding yourself with giants, women who are taller than you, who speak a different language, who are doing things that you will like, wow, that's incredible, right? Because it grows you, it makes you better. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. We have a conference coming up. I think you guys all know the Giant Experience Conference is coming on the 11th through the 15th of January. I'll post a link here. If you have any interest in any way to package your knowledge, your background, your experience, your gifts, your talent into a high ticket product, and you want to understand how to, over the course of 7 days, figure out how to do that and be in community with other women your own ambition level and above, then I invite you to check out the page to learn more. I'm going to review the comments here. It's an incredible conference. I think you guys all know about it. And I'll talk about it a little bit if anybody wants to know. You can just ask. Evelyn says, you have to be consistent and persistent. There's always more to learn. Celebrating the small wins lead to the big wins. Celebrating others is important. It says a lot about you. It does, right? So the reality is that the reason that people are conditional about cheering others on is because they can't see that that person winning is inside of them. Like, so there can't just be one person that's like the gigantic person. To me, the best teachers, trainers, coaches want their students to exceed them. And I tell my clients this all the time: you will exceed me. And that's the whole point. Okay. They're standing on my shoulders. They should get to where they want to quicker, faster, sooner. Okay. That's the point. All right. And someone writes, get real about resolution, mind, life, and business. It's true. All right. You got to think about it. And I think sometimes we don't think about, when we're making resolutions, we think of resolutions as goals, and we can't figure out why we don't commit to them. But often we don't, because it's really about mindset, your life, and your business, right? Angel writes, surround yourself with, right? We're better together, always better together, 100%. And then Camille writes, celebrate small wins and celebrate the wins of others, right? So surround yourself with giants. It's all powerful. It's just so important, right? That we have, and we are in association with people our own ambition level and above, right? Because they grow us. right? They grow us, and it says everything about us, right? To be able to cheer others on. And Tracy writes, thanks, Mia. My takeaway is to be consistent and persistent about the results and leading from the front. So important. Okay. And it's so important to do that. Any quick questions for me? Any other ahas or takeaways? Aha moment. Proactively change without conditions. The conditions can hold you back. This is such a big thing, Erica. Like, I think people don't really get this part, that when you have a condition like, I'm going to do this and see if blah, 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 you know what I mean? I'm going to see, I'm going to try this until blah, blah, blah. No. Okay. You won't do it because you've already said you've got a condition. All right. And that condition is your out. You're looking actually for the way out, in opposed to how to make something work. I've coached with, I've coached with the same coach for 17 years. I've never said there's a condition. I'm going to get my money back. That's what I've always thought. Whenever I make an investment, I'm going to get a return on that. I'm never thinking I'm not. I'm going to work what I'm doing. I'm going to work what I have to always get a return. That's my mindset. I'm not thinking I'm going to work for, like 15 minutes or anything like that. So that's super important. Any other ahas or takeaways? Erica writes, the condition is absolutely a crutch. And it is the reason why most people don't move forward, is because they've got a way to escape. Sheree writes, since becoming a client, the mindset has been a determining factor for me. So tell us how so, right? Because I think that mindset is one of those things that it happens. It's not something that people often talk about, but I know that in order for you to stand tall in your gifts and to charge what you're worth, you have to work on your belief system. And it is the reason why I work with my clients around mind, life, and business. Camille writes, thank you for always sharing and for your transparency. I appreciate you for writing that, as always. Thank you for being here. Awesome. Yeah, mindset is everything, right? Like, mindset is the thing that changes everything for us, right? The life you're living is the sum of your thoughts, right? Like, think about that. And for some of us, it's like, wow, that's cool. And for others, it's like, really? Okay, it's kind of scary, right? You're like, am I living out my thoughts? Yes. Okay, you are. Okay. And that's important to understand, that you can have any single thing you want. Okay. But you have to change your belief system. And that usually starts with your thoughts. And, my clients, like I said, they call themselves giants, and I only work with giants. And that's kind of bold, like a giant, right? But you have to stand tall to change your life. And success can't be optional. And, this idea of hustle and grind is not a giant thought. It's pretty toxic, quite frankly. Understanding new ways to be able to monetize in your life, leveraging your intellect and your talent, is super important. Hey there, Ben writes. Benjamin writes, hey there, great to see you online. Keep inspiring. I appreciate you. And then Sheree writes, I have always been conditioned to get a career, get the great job, not you can do and have all of this with your own business, with your own knowledge, that you could package actually what you know, right? What you've been doing all the last 10 years or 20 years, your PhD, your MD, your JD, right? Your work experience, your expertise, your life skill, your soft skill, what you're doing in motherhood, what people come to you all the time for, that all of these things can be packaged and properly monetized at a very high level if they solve a problem for others. And I think so many people don't recognize that they're sitting on a gold mine. Literally, when I started my business 17 years ago, I started simply with supporting women with creating systems to show up in their own life as moms. I created self-care systems for mothers. And that's how I started my company. I did not start my company in any other way. I started with what I knew how to do. And I want you to know that no matter where you are right now, what you know properly packaged is very valuable. The problem is that so many people are undervaluing what they know, packaging what they know in a course and selling it for, whatever, a couple $100 or $1,000. And it's your entire life, your entire life's work. And you devalue the gift when you do that. And that I'm committed to supporting women and showing them how to stand in their value, how to sell what they know at the highest level. And I mean, you've seen the charade. I mean, I have clients who shortly after working with me take their ideas and they package their ideas into high ticket offerings that they sell. Okay. Many of my clients, I have a client that just started working with me 3 weeks ago, came to the Giant Experience conference and literally closed a $15,000 deal within 24 hours of leaving the conference, another $30,000 within, was that 4 days? Within 7 days of leaving the conference, she's got another $50,000 deal on the table. I have another client who was in that same class, which was now 3 weeks ago, who closed her first $2,500 contract, never did this before, ever in her business within 4 days. Just learning the how to. It's real, gang. And it's not real because I say so. My clients pop on here all the time and they share it. And you have to make that decision that you want to change your life in business now. You've got to do something. You got to be highly actionable and you got to do something different. And certainly, I'd love to support you when you're ready. Check out the Giant Experience Conference. I posted the link there. I'll post it again. It is for you if you're ready. It's not for you if you are like checking things out. We'll see. It's for you if you're ready to step into and do the work, right, for this upcoming year. You're ready to change your life. Okay. All right. So that's what I have for you. Any final comments or questions before I sign off? I'll take a few and then I'm out of here. I want to thank you for being here. I hope you had an amazing Christmas. And I know that you're going to have a tremendous New Year. Camille writes, if you want to see something different, you have to do something different. Yes, absolutely. And that's the only way that we change our life, is literally making that decision that we have to be in partnership with the change that we desire. Doesn't work the other way. It doesn't work because you sit in a room and we journal, or we just think about it, or we play spiritually based songs and we have hope and wishes. It doesn't work. You talk to your friends about it. You have to literally do the things that I talked about today. That's the way that you change your life, okay? I love you guys, okay? I know that this new year is going to be amazing, and I wish you incredible success. I'll see you soon. I love you. Bye.